Yesterday, I lost a Jenga game, and so today I'm making this episode to talk a little bit about the history of Jenga. It's an interesting story, and we'll ask the cards how to stack together the little bricks of our lives so that everything is sturdy and stable. I'm John Paulus. You're listening to Life's Potluck Buffet, only on YouTube. If you're enjoying Life's Potluck Buffet, please subscribe. If you've subscribed, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. And if you have a Brave browser, you can now contribute basic attention tokens to Life's Potluck Buffet with John Paulus on YouTube. Thank you for your support, and thank you for listening. This story starts really in Ghana, because that is the place where the Scott family, whose member Leslie Scott invented Jenga, started playing with wood bricks. And these wood bricks they got as excess pieces from a lumber yard in Takoradi in Ghana, which is a coastal city to the west of the capital, Accra. Well, the Scott family loved playing Leslie's game with the bricks and little pieces of wood where you stack the wood pieces and then you remove them one by one and put them on top until the whole thing falls, and whoever makes it fall loses. I so often would knock the wood pieces with my rather large knuckles so that I actually earned the nickname in the early days of Jenga, Big Knuckles. And so I still, whenever I play Jenga, I'm a Big Knuckles are always the big problem. Yesterday I lost for different reasons. So, but I'll get back. Let me get back to the Jenga. Scott had grown up, and her family had been in Dar es Salaam, and in what is now known as Tanzania. And she grew up speaking Kiswahili, and the word that she thought of when, after trials and tribulations and trying to find the right distributor for the game and manufacturer of the game, she finally found one. She said the name of this game is Jenga. And Jenga in Kiswahili means build. And that is what she called the game. Again, using a language that she grew up speaking. And the manufacturer said, "That's a terrible name. We want a different name for this game." But Leslie Scott persisted and said, "No, the name of this game is Jenga. That's its name." And we know in Life's Potluck Buffet the importance of naming. And by her account, what she explained to the big game manufacturers was that when you call a name Jenga instead of something like Tumbling Towers or you name it, the word will become synonymous with the game. And that's what happened. There's only one Jenga. And at this point, in most of the world that does not speak Kiswahili, the only thing that Jenga means to them is this building game with the wood blocks. And now you know that you know a word in Kiswahili you might not have thought you did, but you do. Now, there's all sorts of comments online about, is each piece really the same exact size? Does that, how come if you've played Jenga, you know that some are kind of easy to push out. In fact, that's my strategy is always to, and most people I think, is to, kind of test where there's a piece that is loose when you're looking to see what piece you're gonna kind of move. And that is just a function of natural variations that happen. Even though the pieces are manufactured at the same exact size, there are macroscopic variations that cause this slight difference in the overall thickness of the blocks, which is the important part since they're stacked on each other in a horizontal fashion on the widest surface. So the thickness of that matters. I guess the thickness probably changes in all directions, but the point is that the important part is that the widest surface that lies flat is not so precise that it makes the removal of bricks impossible. The blocks could be impossible to remove if they were made of a material that was really precisely the same size. Each block would be really, really tough to move out of the structure, and so this kind of natural variation is important. I've read some stories that suggest the original Jenga that Leslie Scott created in Ghana, that original version. Obviously, the blocks, the bricks were much less precisely manufactured. They were just scrap extra pieces, so they weren't the same kind of precisely manufactured, same size pieces as today. But I have read some stories that suggest there was an attempt to have a very slightly different thickness on the pieces, or this variation by Leslie Scott originally, in order to give it a handmade feel. That was important to Leslie Scott in the creation of Jenga, that these pieces feel like they were kind of handmade in a certain way and had a feel of variation between them, even though they're the same, ultimately the same size pieces in the grand scheme of things. Oh, and there are 54 pieces in the standard Jenga set. There are 55 cards in Life's Potluck Buffet card deck. So I think what I should do before I draw the card of today is I should remove one card. Oh, believe me, I want to remove Passions Over Hobbies, but I'm not going to. I'm going to remove one of the wild cards. I'll remove the 3-star wild card, which is the 55th card of the deck. And then I'll set that aside so that we can go on to the drawing. Oh, here it is. And that card is it's the one with the bowl on it that says say what you want on the bowl. That's card 55 in the deck. So now we have 54 cards, the same number as Jenga pieces, and we're ready for the drawing. So here we go. Yellow lemons, blue dumplings, magenta noodles, cards. Tell us some things. Yep, here it is. It's card 29. Something you thought was beyond you is actually within your capabilities. Once we realize that our wildest dreams are hardly the stuff others' dreams are made of, we can start to accept that they are not fantasies but accurate predictions of our futures. Yes, I'll say that again. Once we realize that our wildest dreams are hardly the stuff other people's dreams are made of, we can start to accept that they are not fantasies, but accurate predictions of our futures. So now today, take the first step by identifying something you think is totally beyond your reach. What is it? And then now plan the first step to achieving it. So keep that in mind. Understand that something you thought was way beyond you is actually well within your capabilities. It just makes a lot of sense. Our dreams are our own dreams. We don't share our dreams with other people because we have dreams that are just our own personal, individual dreams. So to say that those dreams are impossible is to really not understand the true nature of what you dream of doing. So think about how Leslie Scott, through lots of struggles, eventually was able to see her dream of Jenga become a reality. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you tomorrow on Life's Potluck Buffet.